So we are pleased to have Ms. Gosden from Cleburne ISD here with us today. Ms. Gosden, how long have you been teaching?
30 plus years. I started in the classroom in 1990.
All right, and we just heard Ms. Gosden and I were just talking. Her pass rate for students on the CNA certification exam is between 95 and 100% every year, correct?
Correct.
So Ms. Gosden is very experienced with the CNA exam, and we are pleased to have her here working with us on this workshop. So with that, we're just going to start firing away at some of these questions. Okay, Ms. Gosden, you talked about it a little bit in the presentation, but how have you used iCEV mixed with Canvas, mixed with some of the other tools that you have in Canvas this spring for the virtual teaching?
Okay, before we went on spring break with COVID, I would use the iCEV materials face-to-face instruction in the classroom. If I was starting a new topic or a new skill, I would pull up that nursing assistant skill and we would view it in the classroom as a group, and we would talk about the different steps. And then we would go to the lab and the students would practice those steps. Once we went to distance learning, then I would just assign that through Canvas for the students to watch that video. And then I would have some type of an assignment that would go along with it, whether it be questions or whether it be, them to create and make a video at home and then send that skill back to me.
Okay, what did you use in Canvas for making the video?
It's called Studio.
Studio, okay.
Studio.
And did you have students, what did they use for, I guess, for props, or if they didn't have the tools at home to do the skills, how would they improvise on that?
Well, students can be pretty creative. So, and I allowed them that creativity to come up with whatever, they had available at home. Sometimes it might have just been position, like a positioning skill, and they were using, their little brother and pillows. So it kind of all depended upon which skill that they were demonstrating.
So I'm going to put you on the spot. This wasn't a question, but you've got me curious now. What was the funniest example of a video you saw this spring? Anyone come to the top of your mind?
Well, yes. I mean, one of the skills is assisting to use a bedpan, and I was somewhat surprised with what they used as a bedpan, because they had to be pretty creative as to what they chose.
Good answer. Good answer. Okay, so you had mentioned. Here's another question: the state curriculum and how you use iCEV to supplement that state curriculum. How do you do that? What's the, I guess, what format is that state curriculum in, and how does iCEV supplement it well?
Okay, so basically our state curriculum, or our nurse aid curriculum, is from the Texas Department of Health Long-Term Care Division. And that curriculum is just like everything else. It's revised and rewritten and updated continuously. But the last time we had a major update was in 2013. But that is available off their website, and I do recommend that all your CNA teachers, download that. And I can only talk about Texas. I don't know about the other states, but I'm sure that it's something, the same way. And then we have a Texas Nurse Aid Handbook. And in that handbook, it lists the skills that the students are going to be tested over. So it has each skill, and it has step-by-step directions as to how those skills are supposed to be performed. Now, there's many different types of textbooks out there, and a lot of us use a textbook to go along with it. And iCEV is just another one of those supplements that we have that we can use to supplement, all our materials. And with when y'all when y'all published or put out the CNA skills videos, that was such a big help to all the instructors, because as I said in the video, there's lots of YouTube videos out there, throughout, but they're not always accurate. And with you having Texas health science instructors, basically do those videos. They followed the guidelines. They went through step by step. And that was, very, very good for us, as instructors, to have that for our students.
Perfect. So we talked about your success with students students passing that certification exam. As we look at it, how do you have students review materials before taking the certification exam?
All right, so we're a Canvas school. So those videos, your iCEV videos are uploaded into those accounts, the students' accounts. And so they have access to go back and to watch those. And so they have, that's a way that they can use to review. And that, again, was great with our distance learning, because my students were scheduled to take their state exam in April. And this basically NACES or NACEPS, which is or Pearson VUE, is who actually does the certification exam. They closed down all testing across the nation, and they did not open testing back up until July. And during that time period, I mean, really, they opened it back up and then they closed it. So my students were scheduled and rescheduled 3 times. And when they were finally able to take the exam, it was towards the end of July. But having those videos to go back and review and to watch, really benefited them.
Very good. So a great segue into the next question. Obviously, we've got a lot of teachers that are starting new to Canvas or Schoology or whatever that learning management system might be. You showed us how you connect iCEV and as well as other resources into Canvas. What's your strategy on how you do that? So do you do like a full course at a time or a full semester at a time getting those lessons prepared? Or do you like to kind of do it a week at a time or a couple of lessons at a time? How do you prepare materials to go into Canvas?
Okay, I mean, as I said, I've done this a long time. So I have my course basically already set out, or I have some way that I think, I'm going to teach this class. So I know which skills I'm going to do first and in what order. A lot of times it depends upon when we are going to start our clinicals at the long-term care facility and what I'm expecting my students to be able to do when we first go into those. But, for a brand new teacher and starting out this year with something like this, I think, I would start basically with hand washing and then go with the PPEs and just kind of slowly work through. But it is still, very doable, very easy to embed those into your other, whatever your school, whatever type of management system that they have, whether it be Schoology or a Canvas.
All right, perfect. All right, so the last question I have here, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know how to answer this one. And possibly, Ms. Gosden, maybe you can provide it. We talked about, Pearson VUE is the certification exam tester for the CNA exam. So we've talked about Texas. How different is that exam across the country? Is it different for each state, or
No, it is not. It's a national exam. So it is basically it should be the same across the country. Now there is a couple of skills that's a little bit different. In Texas, our students are required to do manual blood pressure. In other states, they're allowed to take the blood pressure electronically, but still the students are all trained on the same skills. And the way the exam works on the day of the testing, they are required to perform 5 of those skills. And those students do not know what skills they're going to get until it's their turn to test.
So everything here that we've been talking about is applicable nationally.
Yes, that is correct. That is correct.
Well,
because they take the same written test across the nation and they take the same skills exam across the nation.
Okay, thank you for clearing that up. I wasn't sure the answer. I thought it was national, and you cleared that up for us. So yes, the question regarding updating skills for each state, pretty much while there might be a couple of differences, for the most part, the curriculum is going to match nationally. So
yes.
Is there a way to ask a question?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm in Kentucky. I'm the one that asked that question. I'm Joe Jones in Scott County, Kentucky. So in Kentucky, our community college system is the one that does our tests. They're also the ones that do our skills. And I was watching the skills, and they're very different from what ours are here in the state of Kentucky. For instance, making an occupied bed. on all of our skills, if you raise the bed from the lowest position, the side rails must be up or you fail. That's not in the skill. So like, they're very different from ours. And
Okay,
that's like,
excuse me, in Texas, bed making, occupied or occupied beds are not a tested skill.
yeah, they are for us. And ours will know 2 of the 5 skills that they're going to test on the day that they go. Everybody does hand washing and vital signs.
Yeah.
But like, I don't want to show skills that don't align with our step-by-step instructions. If it was just a little difference, I could do it. But like, that's a major, like, you fail the entire skills portion if you don't raise the side rails. So
okay, JoJo, in Texas, we have this, and I don't know whether you can see it, but we have this book, and it says Texas Nurse Aid Handbook. Do y'all have something like that in your state?
I can't be pushing my button and looking at the same time.
Okay.
We do have guidelines. It's not Pearson View. We're not allowed to use that. We have one specific book that we're allowed to use. And then the state gives us like our own skills checkoff list. It's,
Okay.
I mean, it's the same skills, but I'm just saying step by step, they're different
Well,
in some sense.
and JoJo,
Okay. I can't, I can't address that because all I know is what we have here in Texas.
well, and JoJo, what I did was I just chatted my email address. Can you please send me an email? And what we'll do is we'll take a look at those Kentucky skills and see how they align. So that way we can make sure that we've got, give you the proper direction on that. So, and we are out of time for this Q&A session. I know we've got more workshops starting. My buzzer just said I've got to be at another workshop, but Ms. Gosden, thank you very much for joining us. And thank you very much for your words of wisdom on the CNA certification exam. And to all of our participants, thanks for joining us as well. So Landy just put in the code for credit for the session. It is ACE, ACE CNA 047. So ACE, ACE CNA 047. So thank you everyone for joining us, and feel free to email me if you have further questions. And thanks again, Ms. Gosden. We really enjoyed it.
Thank you.